I had to get up for this part. Pharaoh's dreams were interpreted by Joseph to the T. He tells him exactly what to do. In this part, I had to get up for a second to tell you this. Joseph gives him advice. God doesn't tell Joseph what to do next. God interprets the dreams through Joseph, but Joseph gives him advice. Do you hate your job? Are you doing everything you can to try and get out of it? The people at your workplace scheming against you, the Lord has a word for you today, and you prepare yourself for it. Day 17, we were talking about praying of our careers, just offering up to God what we want, going to God and saying, these are our dreams, these are our hopes. We're inviting you in this space and being very clear about what we want for our career, what we want to achieve, and how we want to achieve it. So I really hope that you've put together a plan. You've written down the vision that you have for your career. You've written down where you want to end up, and you do not have to be limited by where you are right now, because God sees beyond that, and you have to see beyond your situation, your current situation, and envision the future in which you are in that desired career, and pray over it and declare it and claim it. Genesis 41, which is the story of Joseph. I hope you're familiar with it, and if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to remind you of the story. This is Pharaoh's dreams. This is the part where Pharaoh dreams about the 7 fat cows that are coming out of the river, and then 7 ugly cows that come out of the river, and those ugly cows eat the fat cows, and it's like they ate the fat cows but they still look skinny and ugly. What's up with that? And something similar with heads of grains, that the skinny ones ate the fat ones but they remained skinny. I was like, that's confusing. Somebody needs to interpret this. And his chief butler said to Pharaoh, well, if you remember before that, chief butler was in prison with Joseph together with the chief baker, and they both had dreams, the chief butler and the chief baker, that Joseph came to interpret for them. And after he interpreted for them, those dreams came true. The chief butler, didn't lose his head, but the chief baker did, and he was restored to his position. And so this guy that had encountered Joseph in the prison that he's being held for something he didn't commit. He's a prisoner, he's a Hebrew man, and he still went to the king and said, I know somebody who can help you with this. And when he called him, this is what I loved about Joseph. He comes and he says, Pharaoh says to him, I heard that you can interpret my dreams. Tell me what this means. He says, it is not in me. It is God who is going to give Pharaoh the answer of peace. The character of Joseph. And I chose this as part of our reading plan over the career prayers, because I want you to remember that God has certain expectations of us. Number one is that whatever that you do it as if you're doing it for him. Don't do it as if you're doing it for human masters. And Joseph is a prime example of somebody who went out of his way to do what was right, even for people that would accuse him, persecute him, sell him into slavery. Always give 110%, as if these people didn't wrong him. He always worked as hard as he could. He was always honest, and he was always in a place of humility. We should be more like Joseph. Joseph did not see a burning bush, guys. Joseph did not fight God in the middle of the night and get his hip broken. Joseph encountered God inside of himself. He knew that God was with him. He knew that the word was hidden. He knew that because the word was hidden inside of him. 30 years of strife and struggle, being sold into slavery, becoming, a slave to somebody who then their wife is going to accuse you of something that you didn't do, and then you go to prison. He just continued to be faithful. He just continued to work as if he was working for God. A lot of us need to be more like Joseph. We want to progress in our careers, but we are not working faithfully. We are gossiping about our bosses. We are turning around and saying, I'm not going to give 100% on a job that people don't appreciate me, on a job that doesn't pay me enough. I'm not going to come to this job and give it my all because, I don't care and I want to do the bare minimum. God is saying in everything that you do, give it your best, because the reward that you're going to get from him is not because you were in a place where you did your best, in a place where people appreciated you. It was in any and every circumstances you knew that God is with you, and it doesn't matter that you're doing it for someone who is spiteful, someone who is evil. It says if you've been placed in a situation you're placed in, work as hard as you can. Work environment is just something you want to escape. I want to challenge you to do this and see if God is not going to be on your side. Do your work and do it better than anybody else, and do more than is expected of you. Do it joyfully. Do it not for any reward except to be what God has called you to be. And see if at the end of this you will not have a testimony like Joseph. For God has made me forget my toil. Second son Ephraim, for God has made me to be fruitful in the land of my torment. This is what you need to hear today. I know you might not like it. God is going to take you out of that place, or if he doesn't, you're going to be fruitful in that place in front of your enemies, because that's what he promised. It doesn't say retaliate. He doesn't say when you're being mistreated, do the bare minimum. If his promises are yes and amen, your side of the bargain is to go to him for strength when you can't do it. He's going to lift you up, and he's going to prepare to in front of those people. I had to get up for this part. Pharaoh's dreams were interpreted by Joseph to the T. He tells him exactly what to do. In this part, I had to get up for a second to tell you this. Joseph gives him advice. God doesn't tell Joseph to tell Pharaoh what to do next. God interprets the dreams through Joseph. He tells him there's going to be 7 years of great success in the land, and then 7 years of famine that people are going to forget all about that success. But Joseph gives him advice. He tells him that in the 7 years that you are going to experience this good produce, you are going to take 1/5 of that and you're going to store it. And once you store it, when the famine comes, you're going to use the food in there. He gives him incredible advice on top of that. He doesn't mention himself. He's just saying, I'm trying to help you, king. I'm trying to help the people of Egypt. I'm trying to help people here because I know what God said and it's true. But in my own understanding and in the intellect that God has given me, this is how I see this going. You should have officers and you should have people all around Egypt that are going to be managing this and making sure that you have stocked up for the famine. And Pharaoh hears this and he's impressed by this and he goes, I should hire you. And not only does he offer him a job, he offers him the second most powerful post in all of Egypt. So I don't think that while he used his talent, while Joseph used his gift to interpret what Pharaoh experienced, while his steadfastness and his honesty, him working hard and doing what he did, got him in front of Pharaoh. What got him to be the second in command was the fact that he spoke up and he said, I have an idea that can help you. And that man saw that he was resourceful. He saw that he could use a man with such honesty, a man with such integrity, with brilliance, because he had such an amazing idea. So at your workplace today, I know you think that doing the bare minimum is protecting yourself, but God is saying that if you're reflecting on how Joseph behaved, he took the extra step to contribute. And if you want a promotion, you're going to have to go an extra mile for the sake of the people that are around you, for the sake of the organization you're around. You're going to have to spend a little more extra time at home learning a new skill. Come with it and say, I have an idea. And see if the people that are at your workplace are not going to be impressed by the fact that you go out of your way for the benefit and for the sake of the organization, the people around you. You're coming up with ideas. You're innovative. You're creative. You work hard. You will get the promotion. My advice for you today, kill them with kindness. And see if God is not going to be on your side.